Let's all give it up to Phil Hogg for jumping into this room with us today and bringing us in with some very soothing sounds. What a great way to start a Monday and a new week here in the Daily Antidote of Song. Thank you, everybody, so much for being with us today. And welcome to all the regular folks who are here and who are watching out on YouTube, and also all the new folks who are joining us today. Thanks for being here on the Daily Antidote of Song, day 1919. A shout out to Carolyn and Boise for my regular cue card over there. We are super excited here in the Daily Antidote to be starting another week of singing in July. A reminder that July is Plastic Free Month, and we've got a project we're doing we'll mention a little later. And super excited to have in the room today Phil Hogg, singer-songwriter out of Newcastle, UK, regular attendee and song leader and host in this room. That's like a try, whatever it's called. Yeah, that not very many people have. So yeah, thank you, Phil.
Triathlete. No, I'm not,
Well, I don't know
definitely
about
not a
that.
triathlete. Yeah, great to be here, of course. Always brilliant to be here in any of those capacities. So lovely to see everyone's faces. And
Yeah, well, we're so glad that
hmm,
you're here, and we cannot wait to sing with you. We're going to do a quick hello to all the folks in
aha.
the room today, and say thanks to everybody, of course, for joining us. So let's say hi to Candace, who's running tech for us out of LA today. Thank you, Candace, for being here. Trish and Victoria, Hoda in British Columbia, Arlene, Berkeley, California, Linda on Orcas Island, Diana in Victoria, British Columbia, Caroline in DC, Susan in Cincinnati, Ohio, Deli in Maryland, Athena in Brooklyn, also reminding me that we are at 1,919 consecutive days of singing. Kathy in Denver, Colorado, Neil in Boston, Anne coming in from Amherst, Massachusetts, Sue in Seattle, Amanda and Miles in Michigan, Bonnie in Boise, Idaho, Carolyn back home in Boise, Idaho, Clive and Ruth coming in from Birmingham, UK, Sheila in Florida, Kathleen in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Curly Tops in Vermont, Linda in California. Let's see, we've got Nan in Michigan, and Aloysius in Massachusetts, and Jenny in Suffolk, UK, Nancy in Washington State, Julie in Ontario, Canada, Sarah in Texas, Laris coming in from the UK. Let's see, Storm in Massachusetts, Karen in Iowa, Jim is coming in from Sweden. Nice to have you from Sweden, Jim. We are glad you are here. All right, let's see. We've got Fred in Silver Spring, Maryland. Stephanie coming in from Grand Rapids. I think that's Michigan. Bob in Massachusetts. Martha in Oregon. Sydney in San Francisco. Mabel and a bunch of Bears in Massachusetts. Marion in Brighton, UK. See how excited the Bears get whenever we say their name. Curly Tops in Vermont. Carol in Connecticut. And Gary in Massachusetts. I think I got everybody. And if I missed you on the front end today, we'll definitely get you on the back end. I'm super excited to turn it over to Phil. Phil is here from Newcastle, UK, a usual resident of Devon, UK, but splits time, we all know, regularly between Newcastle, where his dad and his sister are, and Devon. And besides that, he splits time in his travels all around the world all the time. And it's kind of like where's Waldo? We never know when Phil's screen pops up where he's going to be coming in from. And in fact, I think your song today reflects some of your travels. So I'm going to turn it over to you. Thanks so much for being here, Phil.
Thanks so much, Joe, and everyone. Yeah, so it does. Today's song is hot off the press. I would say it's kind of a work in progress, in fact, but I thought if I can't try out a work in progress with the Das family, then where else can I do it? So I'm hoping you're going to help me with this song today. You might remember I did manage sometimes when I'm on travels or away. The time zone is a bit tricky, and or the internet, or different appointments and things, and I don't make Das. But I feel like when I was in Germany recently, I was able to join in from one or two different cities, and I was really happy to do that. It's always lovely to, even if you're moving fast, to kind of see everybody and feel a little bit of like, oh, I know where I am. It's Das time. But also just some of the impressions that I had on that trip, I felt were chiming with the discussions that were going on in Das those same days that I was able to join. I'm really happy to bring this song to you that was written right at the end of my trip in Berlin. I'd been to Berlin a long time ago, maybe at least 10 years ago, and I really, really liked it, but hadn't been back. And it was nice to go back again and find that something in the air and in the earth and in the buildings and in the people was still there, and it really grabbed me. And this song came very, very quickly, although it's still kind of under development a little bit. It just came out very, very quickly. So I'll talk a little bit more about the background and where I actually was when I wrote it. But the big thing about Berlin was that I felt it was somewhere that you can experiment, you can try out. That there's a very experimental, not to say edgy, art scene, like street art. I feel like street art, almost like perhaps Berlin and New York, were the two places where somebody would probably say, no, it was happening in this other place. But post-war, there was a lot of dereliction. There was a lot of people needed to start again, and like where to begin. And I think that gave a sense of freedom, and let's just go for it. So hence trying the song today, and that's kind of the story behind the lyric as well. So we're going to do it in A minor, and please feel free to. So what I'm basically saying is, please feel free to experiment and join in this song in any way you like, particularly in the couple of instrumentals. You can do your own dance, or you can read a poem, or anything in those few seconds between the lyrics, in the spirit of Berlin and art from Berlin. So here we go, fingers crossed. Yeah, I want to be in Berlin. I want to be in Berlin, feel the bustle and din. I want to be a Berliner, a saint who looks like a sinner. From the west to the east, it's a movable feast. People from many lands, they'll stop and lend you a hand. They'll ask you where you're from, make you feel you belong. You might be just a beginner, but you can be a Berliner. I want to be in Berlin, feel the hustle and din. I want to be a Berliner, a saint who looks like a sinner. I want to be in Berlin, without and within. I want to meet a Berliner. Where are we going for dinner? From the east to the west, either way is the best. Whether it's funky or mellow, and the U-Bahn is yellow, I want to be in Berlin. Take a walk in the park, take a walk in the dark. If we're feeling blue, a beer and a movie too. You're dressed all in black, but the color comes back between the darkness and light. There are angels in flight. I want to be in Berlin and feel a feeling within. I want to be a Berliner, a saint who looks like a sinner. Freestyle. tears that have flowed, a debt that was owed. Don't forget about love, a rainbow rising above. I want to be in Berlin, hear the hustle and din. I want to be a Berliner, out without and within. I want to be in Berlin, through the hustle and din. I want to be a Berliner, a saint who looks like a sinner. I want to be in Berlin, without and within. I want to be in Berlin. Something like that.
Something like that was pretty much fun. Thank you so much, Phil. So yeah, that was more like what, experimental or jazzy or scatty or more not as like so straightforwardly melodic, right? Where like your voice interplay and our voice interplay might be making harmonies that we were unexpected. Yeah, and so
Good.
totally, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, so you and I have spoken a bit about the song and about your time in Berlin, and so I would love it if you'd share with everybody sort of a lot of what I heard and more.
Yeah. Yeah. This. I suppose in Berlin it was a jam donut, and you were jamming. Very, very, very good. Very good, Carolyn. Yes. I wonder. Who here has been to Berlin. Has anybody been to Berlin? Oh, Carolyn, actually. Um, yeah. It's. Yeah. Of course, it's a big capital city. Um, and the thing that I wanted to try and bring out in the song, I felt, um, when you've kind of connected with a place, with a city, if you start thinking of it as a person. And so in that song, Berlin was starting to become an image was almost forming of the city as a human being almost, so dressed in black. Um, but with there are kind of flashes of color, like the U-Bahn, the metro system is bright yellow, and of course there's all the street art. There's quite a lot of greenery as well, but it's a very urban. There's tram. It's noisy. There's trams. There's traffic. Um, so it's not a relaxing place. But I felt inspired, and I guess it was just interesting to feel why do I feel so inspired here? And I suppose in a way it's connected with its history, um, and the way people have come to terms with that, or lived through it, or started afresh. And I had a really lovely time in Germany. I think it's a really lovely place to visit, and people, I guess you can't underestimate, for me, going there, not speaking any German particularly. People speak English, and it feels an easy destination. It's very close. There's direct flights from Newcastle. I can be there probably easier than getting to Devon, to be honest. um, so it was fascinating to spend a bit of time there, but you can't escape the past. The past is there. It's like it's written in stone in front of you, and so that was so interesting to come to terms, in a way, myself, with how. For instance, I remember, Joe, we were messaging, and I was in Leipzig, and the hotel where I was staying was looking over this huge Platz. It's Alexanderplatz, I think it's called. No, Augustusplatz. Alexanderplatz is in Berlin. In Leipzig, it's called Augustusplatz. So one of these giant, not very human scale concrete expanses that you imagine, sort of military parades and things like that. But that was the place that people had taken over in the years 1989 and 1990, and that peaceful protests, and again, it brought out in the information I was reading that was kind of the key, that people were really smart enough to know that if they, even under kind of provocation and things, as long as they kept those protests peaceful, there was kind of, there was kind of no argument against it. And churches were involved, like people would gather in different places and then really come out on the streets, and to the extent that it was an unstoppable peaceful protest. And that was very inspiring, to be on the spot and to be literally looking out on that from my room. That was Leipzig. Then I moved on to Dresden, and I don't know how other people's impression is, but having never been to Dresden before, my overriding impression, just that name, is almost like another Hiroshima. It's like somewhere that was totally devastated, and that is the case. That is obviously marked when you're there. It's literally marked in the stone, because a lot of the buildings, of course, were totally destroyed and have been rebuilt, perhaps in a modern style. The buildings that survived are the old stone palaces and old stone buildings, but the stone is still blackened. You can see something happened here, and that was quite powerful. It's so easy for me to get there. I can be there in like an hour and a half flight or something, and feels like our neighbors. But that terrible thing, I think they called it saturation bombing. So the effect was like an atomic bomb, really. It was absolute flattening devastation. So I don't know, I felt like feelings of reconciliation were very present and powerful there, and what a powerful thing that is. And then that took me to Berlin, which was sort of the epicenter of Nazism, and then after that had that crazy idea to build a wall through the middle of a city, and people being stuck on one side or the other. So all of I felt if you have your eyes open, this is still kind of living history. But I felt like the response to that must have been very hard kind of time for young people, particularly coming through in the 80s and 90s, and like our kind of elders, look what a mess they made of the world for us. So there must be really questions of identity and where to kind of hold on to. And I felt that the young people at that time were very, okay, well, we're gonna do it our way. Look what happens when you follow the rules. We're going to experiment. We're going to almost start afresh. And I felt there was a real. It's not a soft. I felt like I was talking with Amanda about this, and I was saying there's no syrup in Berlin. It's kind of hard edged, but I felt that there's a kind of deep love in that city. And it's a very multicultural city now as well. And I felt it was kind of a lesson being there. Yeah. So I tried to put all of that in the song, and kind of piece it into a song format. And it took me half an hour to write that. It just wanted to be said, and so out it came.
Wow, Phil, thank you so much.
Sorry, that was a speech.
Yeah. No. We loved your speech. So I guess I can only ever speak for myself. So then I have to say, did we love his speech? And then everybody can flap their arms around. To say like a lot of gratitude for all the thought that you put into that. And just, I think probably most of us in this room can identify with being in a place that had powerful or dramatic or traumatic history, where you're in the place and the way that the place has dealt with it, the vestiges that are still there, the pieces that are gone and or resolved and or healed, and how that feels to stand in that place or be in that place. But I also want to shout out the notion of a peaceful protest and the power of a peaceful protest, because I feel like it's super evident here now in this nation, the United States, how the peaceful protest has so much power that the notion of a not peaceful protest needs to be either invented or what's the word for just blown up larger than life, whether it was or wasn't, because it's a way of in some way attempting to cancel out that power of that peaceful protest. And here in this country, over the course of many, many, many months, well, years and decades and whatever, but recently, there have been so many peaceful protests. It's a powerful thing. It's one of the things that we hope every day we wake up and we recognize that there are all our kin and our kindred spirits, and we're doing our part, they're doing theirs, and all together, that's a lot of power. And so I have not been to Berlin, or quite frankly, any of those places that you were mentioning. And it sounds so amazing. And there's something I think beautifully rich about being able to bring those pieces of powerful history across ponds and borders so that we can all be sitting in it together. So Phil, I'm grateful that you brought the song and your experiences there.
Oh, thanks so much. Anytime. Yeah, I mean, it's inspiring to travel, of course, and yeah, just absolutely delighted to share it. It was inspiring for me, but a lot of artists that I really like have been inspired by Berlin. So it's natural that it goes into song or painting or art or movies. David Bowie based himself in Berlin for a while. Lou Reed was based there. Nick Cave was based there. Wim Wenders, the films of Wim Wenders, celebrate Berlin. So that was all, oh wow, I'm in that world as well. And I could really see it and feel it.
That's beautiful. That I think I think that, as you've been pointing out, that relationship between also that dramatic or traumatic history or revolution or whatever the things are, and then subsequent creativity and or
Yeah.
not even subsequent, like the creativity that's happening in the moment of the drama or the trauma, oftentimes is what really makes an identity of a place.
Yeah.
Um, so Phil, I'm wondering if you can share out, in case folks are new to you and or to the Daily Today, about your amazing live stream.
Okay. So yes. So my YouTube channel is rolling along nicely, I think. So I totally appreciate if you wanted to have a look at the YouTube channel. I think the link is coming in the chat. That's where I'm especially when I'm traveling. I'm just putting stuff up there all the time. Original songs, covers, travelogues. So there's a lot going up there at the moment, and that links in with my monthly live stream. And I know some of you attend that, and it's always wonderful to see your lovely names and imagine your faces there. And that always goes out, or pretty much always goes out on the last Sunday of the month. It'll be the last Sunday in July that we do one of those. It's 8 o'clock in the UK, so it's usually 3 in the afternoon for East people, and some early time for Hoda and others over on the west. But and it stays up there. So if you feel like tipping into what I do, it's all up there on YouTube. Yeah, that's kind of it. I've got a few things coming up. I'm meeting up with Matty soon. He's coming over, so that'll be nice. And yeah, a few nice things coming up this month. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Phil. Love it, love it, love it. And if anybody hasn't been to Phil's live stream, they are all heart, all heart and all music. And you should definitely check one of them out. And let's see, Phil, is there anything else that you would like to say specifically before we sing again? Because I know that we're excited to sing with you again.
Yeah, no, I'm just really excited to do the song with you again. It'll be totally different this time.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Yeah, here we go. Let's transport ourselves. Hopefully, I've painted a picture of Berlin. So let's. You don't have to get on a plane. You don't have to get on a train. The music will take us there. I want to be in Berlin. Feel the hustle and in. I want to be a Berliner, a saint who looks like a sinner. From the west to the east, it's a movable feast of people from many lands. They'll stop and lend you a hand. They'll ask you where you're from, make you feel you belong. You might be just a beginner, but you can be a Berliner. I want to be in Berlin, feel the hustle and din. I want to be a Berliner, a saint who looks like a sinner. Went to be in Berlin, without and within. I want to meet a Berliner, have a Vietnamese dinner. I had two, they were delicious. East to the west, either way is the best. Whether it's funky or mellow, and the U-Bahn is yellow. Take a walk in the park, take a walk in the dark. If we're feeling blue, a beer and a movie too. You're dressed all in black, but the color comes back between the darkness and light. There are angels in flight. I want to be in Berlin and feel the feeling within. I want to be a Berliner, a saint who looks like a sinner. The tears that have flowed, a debt that was owed. Don't forget about love, rainbow rising above. I want to be in Berlin, in the hustle and din. I want to be a Berliner, without and within. I want to be in Berlin, through the hustle and din. I want to be a Berliner, a saint who looks like a sinner. I want to be in Berlin. Something like that again.
I love it. Something like that. That was awesome, Phil. Thank you so much. Part of the whole creativity is the way that it changes each time, right? So I'm so glad that you brought that to us as a, what did you say? Not like premiering it, testing it out, however you said it.
Yeah, work in progress.
Work in progress. I want to say, like, for some of the things that I think make this particular community or this particular project special is the relationship that we have between our song leaders and hosts, and the room and the music and the way people do try songs out on us, or do come into this room even when they're not performing, just to sing along with us, right? I mean, that is really one of the beauties of that. And Phil, has both of those things. And I want to thank you so much, Phil, for being with us here today. Can we all please give it up for Phil and a fun song?
Thank you.
Thank you. There is a lot of drama and trauma and revolution and more going on in the world right now. And some days we focus on it and we sit in it. And some days we try to think about it thoughtfully, but not get too caught up in the toughness of it so that we can stay strong. There's been so much just going on in the news in the last few days. an absolute shout out to Texas and everything that is going out there, all of the people who are hurting and suffering. Also in North Carolina, these are weather-related events, but beyond the weather-related events, we all know there's a whole lot of other stuff going on and a lot of people who are hurting. So for anybody who's out there coming in this room, this is a great day today to both be thoughtful and to kind of sing a little bit of lightness into your soul. And so we're glad you joined us today and hope, of course, that you'll join us again tomorrow. I'm going to take a quick, speaking of tomorrow, a quick rundown what we're doing this week. So here we are singing in Plastic Free July with Phil Hogg coming in from Newcastle, UK today. Thank you so much again, Phil. We've got Elise Bryant tomorrow coming in from Washington, D.C. Suniva Brinell coming in from Sweden on Wednesday. On Thursday, we're going to have Heather Pearson and Kate Munger kind of hosting each other and singing together about a project that Kate Munger's just started. Heather comes in from New Hampshire and Kate from California. Annie Patterson coming in on Friday from Massachusetts. Sister Lala coming in on Saturday from Berea, Kentucky. And on Sunday, Carolina Borja, who we have not seen for a while, coming in from Ohio. And
say bye-bye.
Yeah.
Whoop. Oh, do we have some hellos and goodbyes over there? That's all right. Hello. All right. Lovely. That we see Pauline over there. And then also 100-year-old William. Everybody wave to 100-year-old William. Two fabulous constant presences in this room besides Phil. And Phil gets credit for bringing the whole gang with him. So thank you, Phil, so much. Lovely to see both of you. All right. So in addition to the stuff that's coming up, I'm going to shout out again that we're doing a Plastic Free July project. If you haven't subscribed to our e-news, please do so. We're going to send out an email this week about what the heart of the Plastic Free Project is. And we're also starting this week after one of the Daily Antidote sessions, and we'll be continuing on through the month of July. And I think that is all I have to say. So I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to everybody. Thank you so much for being with us. We look forward to seeing you again in here tomorrow. And a shout out again to Phil Hogg coming in from Newcastle with Sister Pauline and 100-year-old Dad William. Always glad to see your beautiful faces in our space. And help me wave goodbye to everybody today, gang. It's Monday. We should all look each other in the eye. So let's wave goodbye to Trish and Victoria. Hi, Trish. We see you. Arlene in Berkeley, California. We see you and your little pal. Linda on Orcas Island. Nice to see you today in your knitting project or sewing project. Diana in Victoria, thanks for being here. Still semi-new to the room, but increasingly not being very new. Caroline in DC, nice to see you today. Thank you for the beautiful hand gestures and the heart right now. Susan in Cincinnati, Ohio, thank you for being with us. Nice to see your smile. Athena in Brooklyn, thank you for reminding me that we're on day 1,919 consecutive days of singing. Actually, I'm going to run out of voice just saying how many days that is. That's pretty funny. All right, everybody take a deep breath. Thank you, Athena, for being in our space. And also thank you for all the incredible Facebook posts, Athena. I don't know if folks have been seeing it on my page and on the community page. Thank you, Athena, because that kind of stuff works magic. Our YouTube channel is really increasing in subscribers right now, which is really awesome as our Facebook page has been suspended. Anybody that you can point towards our YouTube channel right now, we've got such amazing content. And in a blue moment, it's awesome to just go on there and click on any random video and lift your spirits a little bit. So thanks, Athena, again, for all the Facebook posts. And hint, hint, hope other people in the room will start following on your lead. Kathy in Denver, thank you so much for being with us today. Everybody look at Neil in Boston and wave. Hi, Neil. Everybody say goodbye to Sue in Seattle, to Amanda and Miles over there in Michigan, to Clive and Ruth coming in from Birmingham, UK, to Sheila in Florida. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody look at Bob, Mabel, and the bouncing bears. They're going to bounce for us. Whenever you say their name, they bounce. Thanks so much for being with us today. Bob is trying to find his bear so he can also make his bear bounce. Yes, no, maybe so. Hello. Kathleen in there we go. Kathleen in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Thank you for being with us today. Great to see your smile too. Marion in Brighton, UK. All three smiling people in a row. 4, 5. Okay, I can't count them. Sydney in San Francisco. Great to see you today. Lars in the UK. Thank you for being with us today. Carolyn in Boise, Idaho with a heart. Thank you so much. Stephanie coming in from Michigan. Haven't seen you in a while. Glad you're here. Thanks so much for being with us. Linda in California. Nice to see you. Bonnie in Boise, Idaho. Thank you. Karen in Iowa. Resting. Thank you very much for being with us today and hope we were good for your soul. Fred in Silver Spring, Maryland. Thank you so much for being with us. Deep breath, everybody. Jim, coming in from Sweden. Thank you so much for joining us. And I guess what is it, Wednesday? You've got a fellow Sweden musician coming in, so we hope you can join us then. Curly Tops in Vermont, thank you so much. Hoda in British Columbia, thank you. Gary in Massachusetts, Storm in Massachusetts, Kevin coming in from New Hampshire, day 1919 reminder. Delhi in Maryland, Aloysius in Massachusetts, or at least the top of his head, Anne in Amherst, Jenny in Suffolk, UK, Karen, I'm not sure, maybe new to us today. Nice to have you with us. Not sure where you're from. Curly Tops in Vermont. Carol in Connecticut, the master of the spreadsheet online that lists everything we've ever done. Annette in California, well, not probably everything we've ever done, but you know what I mean. Annette in California, Elizabeth in California, Martha in Oregon, and Nancy in Washington State. So I'll leave you with this thought. Can you imagine the horror of a spreadsheet that actually listed everything you've ever done in your life? Just pause and think about that for a minute. Okay. Right? How many lines would we be crossing off? Okay. Lots of love to all of you guys, and can't wait to see you tomorrow right here on the Daily Antidote. Thanks, gang.